the fundamental challenge remains the pace at which the process is moving at. It is undesirable, and we hope every day that we can increase the speed of the process. Yesterday, for the first time, the tabulation exercise got underway. Unfortunately, it did not complete or unfold as we expected. We were told that all the boxes counted for a day would be tabulated at the end of that day. That did not happen. Some 63 boxes would have been counted so far, and just over 20 were tabulated, completed in the tabulation center yesterday. And that has to improve. We are hoping that we can get GECOM to increase the hours of the tabulation exercise. My report is that the tabulation exercise is being delayed because of the dependence upon observation report, which I have articulated yesterday, has no relevance to the tabulation exercise. And I'm told that the preparation of that report is a time-consuming exercise, and that is what is causing some delay in the tabulation process. We hope to iron out that today. The second issue that is still outstanding is a summary of the issues that have been resolved as the national recount exercise unfolds. Remember, I spoke to you that a number of issues that are going to be recurrent issues were addressed satisfactorily by all the parties, or to the satisfaction of all the parties. And we were promised that we will get a document detailing these issues and their resolution, so that we have it in writing and we will not have delays occurring when these incidents reoccur in the various stations. That once they don't have it in writing, then we either have to get it resolved all over again, or someone exercises a discretion, and that leads to caprice and arbitrariness. And we don't want that. If it is in writing, all the parties would have agreed to it, and it would bind the process as it unfolds. Today, hopefully, yesterday and the first day, I was told that the document is being typed. 2 days it took to type that document. I'm hoping today that I get the document and it is circulated to the press, so that you need to know also, and the various heads of the workstations and the representatives of the political party are made aware of the common decisions that will govern certain irregularities or certain issues as they arise. The other comment I want to make is again to refer to the continuous efforts by APNU AFC to undermine the process. You know, they have now gone back to elections day now, and they are trying to undermine the elections. Though they claim they have won these elections, one would have expected them to protect the integrity of those elections. They have changed their narrative now, and they are attacking the elections. The elections have already been held and certified by all the international observers that they invited as free and fair. They themselves have repeatedly said, prior to the controversy in relation to Region 4, that election day activities were smooth, were free, and were fair. They took credit for that as a government. Now they are departing from that position. I got my hand on President Granger's latest statement to the nation, delivered on the 4th of May 2019, when he said this: the general and regional elections were free, fair, and orderly. That is what the president said in his latest address to the nation. I want you to put this on your screen. And here it is. His representatives, his party leaders, and his activists are every day denouncing the very elections that the president only last week confirmed to be free, fair, and orderly. Now they want to say that massive fraud occurred at the elections. The other thing I want to say is that GECOM Miss Yolande Ward must come out here and defend the elections, because the elections were held by GECOM, and GECOM must be able to answer these allegations that they keep springing up one after the other. Yesterday or last night, they spent a great number of hours on the social media posting on their page lies that are so imbecilic and unbelievable, and lies that can be so easily debunked. For example, they said that the recount exercise discovered a massive fraud at a polling station in Yarrow Cabra. That the statements of poll that the PPP disclosed show that APNU got some 63 votes, and the national recount, the recount showed that the APNU FC got 163 votes. Now, all they had to do was to post the same statement of poll that they're talking about and post the statement of recount, which they have in their possession. The same way that they are hiding their statements of poll, they are hiding now their statements of recount. So if you go on my Facebook page, you will see that I post the posting that they made on Facebook, and I put the statement of poll and the statement of recount signed by the PNC and the APNU and their representatives and all the parties, and you will see that the number of votes in the statement of poll that the APNU received and the number of votes in the statement of recount that the APNU received are the same numbers. The same numbers. Why are you going to peddle such lies that are easily debunkable? I don't understand it, but that's the incompetence that we are seeing. But it is all intended to undermine the process. A letter, you must have seen it by now, was sent apparently by Mr. Joe Harmon to the chairperson of GECOM, calling for the dismissal of an IT staff, simply because they concocted an allegation that a secret meeting took place between Frank Anthony and Cesar Ryan and this gentleman. That was debunked yesterday, even by GECOM. Yolande Ward, as I understand it, came out and said to you that that did not happen. Yet, they have graduated it to an issue where a substantive leader like Mr. Joe Harmon is going to so carelessly put his credibility online to defend and implicate himself in such imbecility. I don't understand what's going on. So I hope that GECOM will not dismiss their staff based upon these allegations. We have put forward strong and damning evidence against certain officers in GECOM, and they have not been removed from the process. And this gentleman, whoever he is, I don't even know who he is innocently implicated in a totally fabricated story, and they want his removal. But these are the things that will continue to recur as they try their best to undermine the process. So I ask that the people of Guyana continue to be vigilant and continue to see the machinations as they unfold. However, we hope that the process will withstand all these objections and these attempts at undermining it, and in the end, it will produce results that will confirm the true statements of poll that GECOM has been hiding for whatever reason, and the actual results of the process will confirm the franchise of the electorate. So we are going to continue to work towards achieving that.
What would your advice be done about the early closure of some of the workstations in the...
There's another thing that we have to work aggressively to eliminate. Yes, 7 o'clock is the deadline, but it is not a deadline cast in stone. Obviously, that can be extended. Certainly, it should not be prematurely terminated. If at all it should be departed from, it should be departed from for the purpose of an extension, because the priority must be expediency and to conclude this process as quick as possible. There is a deadline already of 25 days. If it goes at the pace that it is going, it will far exceed 25 days. So it is in the best interest that GECOM itself put its foot down and stop these arbitrary and capricious extension of time on early termination, and rather consider granting extension of time for the work to be completed.
Is the party going to produce its own
We are compiling it. When we, when we are going to disclose it, the party will have to determine that. But I'm sure that I see other parties have been doing it. And we will do it. 63 boxes so far have all confirmed that the statements of poll that are in the PPP's possession are accurate, 99 or more percent. And we don't expect any different as the process continues to unfold in an accurate and fair and transparent manner.
Would you hazard to tell us, on average, how long it's taking to examine one box?
As I said yesterday, different boxes are taking different periods of time depending upon the character in the workstation. Because if you look at the workstation in which Carol Joseph is working in, whichever workstation, it's taking 3 hours per box. That's the standing average. And that can't continue. So you have different level of obstructionist behavior that is being exhibited as the process unfolds, which is causing the delay. And that is why we want this document that chronicles all the issues and their resolutions. So when the next box is open, the same identical issues are not raised. We have a ruling on it already, so that the process can move with greater alacrity.
How then would you suggest GECOM handle what you would say is an excessive number of objections being raised to maybe delay the process?
Well, the person in charge of the workstation must exercise his or her discretion in a fair and reasonable way, and do not pander and entertain every objection that is being raised. An objection, once it is interpreted properly and it's deemed to be frivolous and vexatious and outrageous, it should be dismissed and not entertained. That is being done. Many times objections are raised and overruled. And we have to have more of that. There should be greater authority being exercised by those who are in charge of the workstation. And let me say that from all the reports I'm getting, that the workstations and their staff have been functioning very well. And they're under a lot of pressure to deal with. Remember, these are junior staff, and they have to look at persons of some political standing who can intimidate them because of their position, etc. And they have to deal with that. It's not easy for those staff members. And sometimes my sympathies go out to them. And they have been doing a remarkable job in the circumstances. And I want to take this opportunity to salute them and to encourage them to continue, because there is great attempt to detract them from the job that they are doing. And those detractors would be happy to have the process continue for the rest of 2020.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
That was a statement by PPP party agent Anil Nandalal outside of the Otachang Convention Center. Day 3 of the recount is on the way at the Otachang Convention Center. Yesterday, the commission said that 65 boxes were counted over the 2 days, days 1 and 2. And the recount started promptly this morning. It is expected that today, the staff who worked on Wednesday, the GECOM staff who worked on Wednesday, have returned today, and understanding the process set out on Wednesday, they would apply that understanding to today's recount, and there should be some alacrity in the process. This is the Otachang Convention Center where the recount of the ballots is ongoing.